Hello, everyone. This is Melanie from Lightbeam's Treasures and Curiosities, bringing you a special viewer question. This is an answer and question video where I take the time to respond to questions that have been asked in my comment section. I love videos like this because A, it knows that there are actually people out there watching, so thank you so much for watching. And B, sometimes I've been doing this for such a long time that it may seem natural and easy to me, but maybe to somebody who's starting out, it is so overwhelming and they're wondering, oh, what is the best course of action to take for their business? Now, always remember, every individual business is completely different. What works for me may not work for you, but I always say try different things, learn different things, find what works for you. And the only way to do that is to explore and maybe take some direction of what works with other people. Now, today I am going to be comparing using the auction feature versus using the buy it now feature. And I will give you some of the strategies, some tips, and also what works for me and what doesn't work. And maybe you could try to take it into your business as well. So now for me personally, I will be honest, I would say 98%, 99% of all my items is buy it now. I rarely do auctions, which is interesting because if you were talking to me 10 years ago, it was all about auctions. Auctions were just exciting, but I almost feel like now in the age where people want their products quick, they want it right then and there, go with the buy it now. I personally reserve auctions for very rare, hard to find, or products that don't necessarily have a place in the buy it now. And I will give you a perfect example. I This was a couple of months ago. I acquired an amazing patch collection of Harley Davidson patches and pins. And oh, the sale, I'll be honest, it was an amazing sale. I bought it at an estate sale for $30. It was an entire box filled with nothing but Harley Davidson stuff. So what I did was I started separating everything, and I found out I had 33 years sequential of Harley Davidson patches, pins for not only the group, but also for the ladies. And then I had a bunch of, so I ended up splitting it up into so many different lots and auctions. And I think that was the best thing I did. What ended up happening, remember, I only spent $30 on the entire pack. And the very first auction that I put up, which happened to be 33 years worth of Harley Davidson, I started the bid out at $30. It jumped all the way up to $175 at the end of the auction. I was thrilled. I was so happy. So in a case like that, that is the excitement. Oh, and bear in mind, that was only just one. I ended up doing, I want to say I did about 12 different lots. So yeah, I made a killing on that. I mean, when all was said and done, I made way over $1,000 off of that $30 purchase. But I'm not going to talk about that. The point I'm trying to make is that was a very, very rare item because when I went online, yes, people were selling the pins, the patches, and this and that, but nobody had the full set of 31 years. And I wouldn't even know how to begin to price on how much a collection like that is worth. And in my mind, I started it out at a reasonable amount because a lot of people had a set of patches and pins for like $25, $30. So I'm like, you know something, let me start out at 30. It can only go up from there. I think that is the major mistake that people made. And this is one of the strategies that I want to talk to is when you're doing an auction, what price are you going to start it off with? Same thing with the buy it now. What price are you going to start off with? Now, the first thing you could do, and I always suggest doing this, is it's a three-part step. Yes, it could be time-consuming, but until you get a handle on what your products are and what you're selling, because nowadays I could look at something and be like, oh yeah, yes, I know how much that is. I know how much that's going to go for. But I still do this on almost everything I find. Step number one is you have a product. Let's just say I'm just picking something up. I have this lovely pair of scissors. So step one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this pair of scissors in the search field. I'm going to see, okay, when I search scissors, what comes up. Obviously, there's thousands. But I want to know how many people are actually selling this. So when I scroll the first, like maybe first two pages, is there anybody actually selling this pair of scissors? I know this is a bad example because scissors are common, but I want to see. I mean, maybe people are selling red poppies or blue poppies or this and that. But is anybody actually selling this black pair with that? That's number one. Then what I want to see is what is the general prices. I've had people selling these for $1, $3, $5, $10, $1,000 for whatever reason, but that we'll get into is in another episode. What are these selling for? So that's the first thing I do. To me, that's just a general idea. Step number two, and this is very, very important, and this you should be doing for a lot of stuff. Go over to your search field and refine your search a little bit. And what you're going to choose is what is your sold and completed. You could just mark off completed and I'll give you a list. No, you want to mark off both sold and completed. And that's what you hear when people say check the comps. When you're wondering what it is, comps, what are comps? Comps are your completed sales, not necessarily completed items, but completed sales. And I'll tell you the difference between the two. So when they say check the comps, they want to see who actually bought this item and for how much and in what quantity. So when you go to your completed sales and you see that these things are selling like hotcakes, like over the past week or so, maybe 1,000 pairs of these scissors were sold, and all of them were sold for like $5, $6, whatever. Then you pretty much know, something. This is a hot item. I'm going to be putting it for that amount. That information will all be told to you in that completed sale comp area. When you hit completed, when you hit sales, it gives you the date the item was sold for, when it was sold for, how often it was sold for, and that's very important, particularly when you have very rare and hard to find items. I personally use that completed sales for everything because, like I said, it gives me an idea of what to start my price, what they're going for, and in general. The second thing is I also compare with, I know how much it was sold for and what's the going one, but I want to see what people are selling it for now. Now, me in general, this is my personal strategy. I will give you the plus and minuses to this personal strategy, but it is up to you. Generally speaking, first of all, I give free shipping. That's me off the bat. There's too many problems with the calculated shipping and this and that. I know most people do that. I add shipping in with my costs. That's the first thing. The second thing that I do is I generally go the lowest price possible. Now you're probably saying that doesn't make sense. You're already giving free shipping. How are you doing? You're really cutting yourself short. I do that for a reason. My philosophy behind it is I want to try to get the item out as quickly as possible. I have no emotional connection to my items. I want them out the door. I want the money in hand so that I can sell the next item. Plus, the majority of my items, either I've paid practically nothing for, got for free, or the price was so low that even if I sell it at bottom dollar prices, I'm still making a profit. And that's very, very important. I mean, that's my business plan. With a lot of plans, that's not the same way. I mean, there are a lot of people who specifically have to count their pennies. I do not have to count their pennies as far as my items, but what I need to count the pennies is how much money in hand I am actually getting. That's the important thing for me. So I put it as the lowest because I try to get it out the door. The problem with that strategy is that you will have that unique demographic who say, okay, we'll go back to the scissors. I like using scissors. I don't know. It's the first item that I hit. You'll have that unique demographic that will say, okay, I know I need a pair of these high-end scissors. I need these scissors. I know in the store they cost $20 a pair. I want to know why is it that when I go online, everybody is selling these for $20, but yet this one person is selling it for $10. What is wrong with that scissor that they're selling it for $10? So that's a unique mentality that you have to look at is People are going to question if you go too low when everybody else is very high. Why are you selling it low? What is wrong with that product that you're selling it low? So that's something to keep in mind. That's a unique mentality. Me, on the other hand, like I said, I want those people that say, "Oh, I'm getting a sale, I'm jumping on it." Me personally, I actually love selling to other resellers. I love it. I love when people buy my stuff in bulk. Absolutely love it. That is a unique audience as well. But the question is what is your product? Who is your audience? Who are you selling it to? Are you selling it to the high end people? Because let's talk about boutique items. Yes, somebody mentioned about a Coach bag. Me personally, I will try to never sell name brand stuff, which is ironic because I did have a genuine pair of Coach shoes, but I had the box, I had the receipt, I had the certificate of authenticity, I had everything in it. So those were a unique pair of Coach shoes. Did I sell them at Coach prices? No, they ended up getting it for a steal. I don't care, they're out the door. But the point is, I don't trust myself selling name brand designer items because there's too much fraud, there's too much faked products, and I try to keep my store reputable with as little problems as possible. Because the reality is, you are going to get problems with everything you sell. Something can potentially happen. I try to stay under the radar, and I don't want to be on the side where I'm selling risky items. Okay, so now, as I was saying, the first thing is look at your pricings because then you can determine, do you want to do an auction or a buy now? As I said earlier, I personally say stick to the buy it now, except if you have something that is so rare, so different, not necessarily other people, then I would say do an auction. So now, let's talk about auctions in general. And these are some strategies to use when you're using an auction. And remember, for me personally, I said use auctions for rare items, not necessarily your everyday items. But the first thing about auctions is this: determine the length of time. And I'm going to give you the pluses or minuses. The least amount you could do is a 1 day. That is a quick sell. I do not recommend personally using 1 day option on either a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I think quick sells you should use for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Simply being because there's more people that are home, more people who may be exposed to it. For me, like I said earlier, Monday, a couple months ago, used to be my best day, simply because Mondays used to be people would go to work, sit on the computer while they're at work, and have nothing better to do than to shop on eBay. Well, now that with the whole COVID and this and that, people aren't necessarily doing that. They are actually going to work and work. Ooh, did I dare say that? Yes, they don't have the time to be on the computer all day long shopping when they used to be able to do that way back when. So my business changed a little bit. Where Monday used to be my busiest day and I loved Mondays, Mondays are now turning to be my slowest days and is back to the normal Saturday and Sunday is your busy day. So I don't recommend using the 1 day. When I do an auction, I generally do the 3 day or the 5 day one. That's up to you. I will also try to do it on a weekend where the third day or fifth day will either end on a Saturday or Sunday. From what I heard, they're telling me that premium time would be your auctions ending anywhere between Sunday night Pacific time, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now you could set your auctions to start and end at a specific time, but the way I look at it is this: I don't like to pay more than I have to. Like I do promote my entire store on all my buy it nows. I use the promotion feature. I only do it at 1%, unless I want to see something go a little quicker. I'll go higher. But why should I give them more money for setting an auction at a different time when all I have to do is just figure out the time, get on the computer, and just um, create that auction at that time? And bear in mind, it's easy to do that. Create the auction and use it as a draft. You don't have to publish it right then and there. You could publish it at any time and just calculate how much it would be when it ends. That'll save you money from having to put up the cost of what do you call it? The cost for setting up the time. Another strategy that they say is instead of doing the 1 day to 3 day, go for the full 10 days. And the reason is that you will have exposure on both weekends. So if you set it up correctly, let's just say you do it Friday for 10 days, that means you are going to be extending it for this weekend and next weekend as well. That is a very, very unique strategy if to do 10 days. I will tell you why I don't like doing that. Is let's just give an example. We're back to we're back to the scissor again. Let's just say you're auctioning off this pair of scissors and you have it for 10 days. But here I need a pair of scissors. Oh, this is my kitty. He's saying hello. Here I need a pair of scissors and you just put this up yesterday. I'm looking at it and it's like, wow, I need the pair of scissors, but it's not going to end until 10 days from now. And yes, there's a buy it now option, but you know something? I really don't want to spend, I don't want to spend the extra money on the buy it now. So I'm literally going to not even bother with an auction and move on to somebody who can sell it to me quick and now. That's the chance you're going to take. You can actually lose sales because you have too many days left and people need the product now. Remember, this is the day and age where you can get something delivered to your door immediately. Why should I wait so long for an auction to end? So far, just to sum up what we talked about, because I have a lot of other things that I want to talk about, is A, we were comparing auction versus buy it now. My recommend is always stick with buy it nows. But if you're going to do an auction, do auctions on rare items, hard to find items. B, don't necessarily extend it out so long unless that is your strategy. Because the downside of it is, if it doesn't sell in that 10 days, you just wasted all that time holding a product for that long. B, another strategy is to end on a weekend, on a Saturday, on a Sunday night. I say that's the premium time to end it. But I say don't spend the money on having to pay for the time. Just put the item up in draft and then insert it and start the auction when you're ready. Now, oh, what are we talking about? Yeah, I got so many little notes that I'm talking about, and I wanted it. Now, when it comes to auctions versus buy now, remember when somebody does a search, it's literally going to pop up. I mean, nobody knows the true algorithm of how they do their postings. We don't know. And I wonder if eBay constantly changes it and does different things. But what I personally have found is, remember, with the buy it nows, they have the option of paying for promotion, which means it's going to get bumped up to the top. Auctions, on the other hand, get moved up based on how much time is left. So if something has a day left, obviously that will be a higher auction than something that has 5 days left. That's just something to consider. Sorry about that. That was my phone. I should be getting cha-ching cha-chings instead of getting phone calls today. But that's okay. Um, Obviously something that has more time is going to be lower on the list than something that has less time. And as the time runs out on the clock and it's getting closer and closer, if there happens to be a bidding war, that's when the most sales happen, is the last 2 hours and then the last 10 minutes of an auction. I can't even tell you how many times I've done an exciting auction where I thought I was the highest bidder and then there's 10 seconds left and I get outbid. Happens all the time. But remember, there actually has to be people on during that time to have that bidding war. We all would love to have bidding wars, but this is very, very important with the price that you start your item at. Back then, let's talk about maybe 10 years ago. It was exciting to put something on for 99 cents. That was like everybody put something on for 99 cents. And then have people and just watch it grow. Nowadays, what's going to happen, you put something for 99 cents, you probably get one and only bid for the person that's scouring the auctions for that 99-cent item, and then half the time the seller will probably cancel it for some stupid reason. So don't even bother putting 99 cents as your auction. Don't do it. I'm telling you, do not do it, because you're only going to get one bidder for that 99 cents, because people have already, particularly if it's a famous, if it's a popular item, they've already bought it with the buy it now because they got it right then and there and they were able to pay. They didn't have to wait for the time to count down for when it ends. So do not put it. What I do recommend, though, is at least start it at whatever your lowest amount is. For me, those patches, I already had 12 bundles set up. However, I wanted my money back immediately. So I put the patches for $30 as the starting bid, because in my head, hey, if it actually goes for $30, I just made my money selling this one item, even though I had 11 more sets of it. I just made my money back selling the more. The rest would be profit. I had no idea that that particular lot would jump up all the way to $175. And you know something? If I would have had that as a buy it now, because in my head I'm thinking maybe I should put a buy it now for $50, I would have lost all that extra money and practically gave it away. That's why it's so important that you do the comps and look stuff up. I mean, that to me, that was a rare item. Those patches were something that nobody on eBay was selling. Everybody on eBay is selling scissors. So it's like, decide what products you want to put as an auction versus what products you want to put as a buy it now. That's very important. Another thing that I've found personally is I will test the waters and try something out as a auction. And I'll give you a perfect example. I've gotten a lot of comic books. I'm just going to show you. This is just one example. This is Mr. Miracle. Not necessarily the best comic books, but this is an entire run of comic books. So what I generally will do with the comic books, just to test the water out, is I will put it up as an auction for 3 days. See if I get any bids, any questions, anything. If I don't, okay, you know something? I just took $1 and I threw it out the window. Because remember, auction is going to cost you money just to put the item up, whether you sell or don't. Yes, they do have a special right now, depending on your store, depending on what promotions you have, where you do get free auction items up. But I look at it this way: if I put the auction up, I just threw money out the window, and I'll switch it to buy it now. So now my comics are at buy it now, because I realize certain titles aren't necessarily popular as an auction. So that's a test. See what happens on that. Start something up as an auction. See if there's any questions, if there's any watchers, if there's anybody that maybe does view the item. And if it doesn't sell and the auction ends with no bids, no purchases, switch it to a buy it now. And what I usually do, this is a little secret, I actually raise the price. So if they would have gotten it at an auction, they would have got it at a better deal. But let's just say I auctioned these off at $25. And I got absolutely no bid for this stack of comic books for $25. Well, you know something? The auction is done with. It is now going up for $30. Because what could happen is, with the buy it nows, I have that prediction that people are going to make me an offer. I do have best offer on all of my items. Everything has a best offer. Because you know something? I would rather get less money and it out the door than not get anybody to do this. There are things that they suggest to put minimum amounts, so that way it'll get rid of the low ballers. But you know something? I even like talking to low ballers sometimes, because half the time I probably will accept their item. The other half of the time, their offers are so ridiculous it doesn't even bother. But try that. See what happens. Put something up as an auction. If it doesn't sell, then put it up as a buy it now with a best offer option. And you don't necessarily have to put the amount in. Just get the customer to talk to you. It's like, okay, I put these up for $30. I set a best offer for, say, $25. let's just say somebody comes in and says, hey, I'll give you $24 for those comics. I'm like, you know something? Yeah, why not? Yeah, you can have them for $24. Even though my best offer would have automatically taken it for 25, the fact that they gave me an offer and it was so close to what my bottom dollar is, maybe on a good day I might say, yeah, you can have it for 24. Or on a bad day, it's like, oh no, I am not giving you this for $24. My firm price is 25. Something to think about, something for your business to do. So now I think we talked about everything. This video has been going on for over 25 minutes, so I am so glad that I was able to answer some questions. So my personal philosophy when it comes to auctions is A, try to use the 3-day option. Don't necessarily use the 10-day option. For me, 3-day or 5-day is the best. I like to use the 3-day. Do not start at 99 cents. At least start whatever you're willing to part with. And then you have a choice whether you want to include shipping or not. Me personally, I do free shipping on anything, everything. That's just me. That's my business strategy. It's much different for everybody else, but I like to do that. eBay also likes people with free shipping, so they have a tendency to bump you up a little bit. And it's nice when you are on the top of the list as opposed to all the way at the bottom of the list. Um, the only thing that I could say when it comes to your personal sales is depends on your item. It depends on your business. It also depends on what you're looking for and how much you're ready to part with it. If there's one lesson that I could teach everyone is do not have personal attachments to the items you are selling. That's the only thing I could say. I mean, if you really, really want to make this business work, do not have a personal attachment to your item. So with that, I want to make sure everybody smash that like button. Even if you don't like me, all right, smash the unlike button. I don't care. But smash the like button, throw me some comments. I would love to hear what your opinion is versus auction versus buy it now. I personally love the buy it now options, but at least the auction is a 2-in-1. You can put a buy it now option in there. Of course, there's a fee for everything, but I only use auctions for rare items. That's what I do. As far as everything else is a buy it now. So with that, have a great day, everyone. Take care. This is Melanie from Light Beams Treasures and Curiosity.